Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to MOMBALLZ. I'm Robin.
I'm Latuanis.
I'm Nilka. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome. So, today we are going to talk about lessons learned for our college students. And along with those lessons, we're going to talk about some of the hard knocks that they've experienced. So, hang on tight. It's going to be an interesting conversation. And don't forget to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, like, and share. Put us on notifications so that you'll know when we drop episodes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And now we're going to highlight our who's winning in the IE. And Miss Nilka is going to take it away because she has someone she would like to highlight.
I would. Thank you, ladies. And welcome back, guys. We're really, really thrilled to always come on here and share what's going on in our lives. And of course, like she just mentioned, the segment of who's winning in the IE. And this young man that I'm going to share with you, his name is Brian Wilson. He's a junior at Ayala High School. We've known him since he was a little boy. We've known his parents since he was a little boy. They played in the same youth football programs that Jaden played in. And so one of the things that I want to say about Brian Wilson is he's a quarterback. They call him QB3. That's his angle. And we're going to be sharing with you like a picture of his logo and what he's got going on. But this kid is not only an athlete and a star, but he's so smart and he's so dedicated to his craft. And so just to give you a few accolades, Brian Wilson, class of 2024, he's 6 feet tall, 195 pounds. I mentioned he's at Ayala High School at Chino Hills, California. He has been named to all these. I'm going to share some of his accolades because I know he's got more. This is the most recent that I got. He's played varsity ball 2021. He was named All-State Cal High Sports. He was named All-CIF in Division III. He was League Offensive MVP. He was Team Offensive MVP. And he carries a GPA of really, really get excited because his mom updated me 4.25. So the kid to me, he's a star, and we've always known him to be a gentle giant. He's just this really good kid who is out there doing his thing. So Brian, we shout you out, we congratulate you, and we know that you've got a lot coming your way. He's got 2 offers currently. So you colleges out there, come and get this kid. Come check out his film. He's got an offer to Texas A&M and an offer to Florida State. So
Nice.
we just know that Brian has a bright future. We know that he's working really hard to shine and do the best he can in his community. He and his sister have done stuff in the community. They volunteer, they gather food and clothing, and they give to places that are less fortunate and children who need, attention and help. So we're really proud of that. Before I move on, though, I want to give an honorable mention to one of our own. We've mentioned him before here, Lawrence Williams. He just finished his college run at the University of Redlands, and he got Rookie of the Year. Woo, woo.
Wow, congratulations.
That's nice.
That was my
awesome.
I love it. I love it. I love sharing when our kids are winning. So that's
Yes,
it.
that's exciting.
That is exciting. Oh, Noka, thank you so much for sharing because it is exciting to hear like people that growing up doing things, big things, and achieving, not just in the sports field, but also achieving academically because those two things go hand in hand. And that kind of segues into what we're talking about with our scholar athletes because being a scholarship athlete is more than just being able to play the sport that you love. It's also creating balance with your academics and learning how to juggle and how to maintain on the field and off the field or on the court and off the court. So, Latuanis, do you want to start with Chance and what are some of the things that he has experienced as a freshman at LMU?
Yeah, so I will share. So I thought the boy was going to send me back a one-liner and I was going to have to improvise. He sent me 10 paragraphs, but really quick and short and to the point. But I was like, oh, he want to talk. I'm going to let him talk.
Right.
So Chance, like the girls started in the summer. So that gave him an opportunity to get his feet wet. He started with one class in the summer. But when I texted him, I was like, can you answer my question, son? And he was like, Mom, I'm in treatment right now, but I'm going to answer it. I'm almost done. I was like, okay, cool. So he was like, let me scroll up. So he said, that he learned that growing up means that you got to get things done, which meant time management.
Mm.
And then I asked him, I was like, well, what about living with your roommates? How do you feel about living away from us? He said, well, I learned that even in college, kids, some kids don't still don't even work that hard. So you just got to keep working and you'll be fine. And he also said communication with his counselors. That has
Wow.
really helped him with his advisors. Chance had to drop a class actually, and he's going to take that class back in the summer, but it just wasn't working out with his schedule and just all the work that was required from that class. So his advisor advised him to drop it and then pick it back up in the summer. So that'll be the one class he'll take. He said his living situation's been good. He's with his teammates all day, every day, so you really get to know them. LMU, the boys basketball did a lot with the boys this summer, so they
Mm-hmm.
really had a chance to bond, even out of the country.
Wow.
The parents weren't there, so he said there's so much free time, and your parents are there to keep watching you to make sure you're doing what you're doing. So you have to be responsible. He said he feel good living on his own. He has his own schedule and things to do outside of basketball. He rarely comes home, but when he does, he come home mostly to get his hair cut or have Shauna braid his
That's
hair.
funny. That's what
And
the
then
girls do.
right, and
Come
then I
on to
said,
get
oh,
their hair done.
right, here I go. I said, okay, awesome, son. He said, wait, I'm not done. I said, oh, okay. I said, all right, keep it coming.
Wait.
Then he said, and what'd you say?
He said, wait.
Right. He said, wait, I'm not done. I said, oh, okay. And then he said the transition from college to high school has been fairly easy for him, but simple because there was his last senior year, he had already taken a lot of classes. So he really only had like a couple classes and he was done early. So I think for him right now, each kid is different. But he said not much has changed from his senior year transitioning to college because that's what he did, when he left high school. But he said the last thing was he said he feels like he's a better player now and he's getting stronger. So he had a lot to
Awesome.
say.
So let me ask you a question because you just like, I think Nilka would agree that we're all three helicopter moms to an extent.
Yeah, right.
We're used to preparing meals and making sure that they get up on time and making sure that they get done everything that needs to get done. So how has that affected you? I mean, hearing that Chance is making it happen without all of your reminders.
Right.
And how do you control not reaching out to try to work things out for him?
Well, I probably fell at that because I still reach out to all the coaches if I need to. But yeah, so I get an F in that department. I'm just going to always do what I feel like I need to do for my kids. And once I see that he's taken more of a leadership role, he has so much to do and he's improved a lot in the areas. Mm-hmm. But I do feel like because he's a freshman, I still need to, just kind of check all those boxes right. for him. I was still making all his appointments and, dental and eye exams and all that. Right. But it was tough, now I only have, two little ones in the home, the two oldest are gone, but we still, I still keep track of all of them. I still send texts and, I still have to text Chance and be like, hey, put us on the list, for the games. I have to remind
right.
him.
Right.
I remember the first time the list closed and I was like, Chance, really? And the coaches was like, I'm texting them. They was like, Chance has to do that. I was like, son. I was like, you cannot forget this. He was like, oh, So, just all those things he's learning. So, yeah. So now that I know every day, before the game, because there's a certain time window that list open and closes. So I text him and be like, hey, put us on the list. So, I'm still texting him, reminding him. He calls us pretty much every day. He called his dad last night. He was like, what y'all doing? And he was like, it was funny. He was like, what are you doing? He was like, I'm sitting in study hall. And he just had a conversation with his dad. And I just laughed to myself. He was like, yeah, I'm just sitting here, by myself thinking. We was like, okay. The question was, how do you know how do you believe what you believe? Like, how do you know those things will happen? It was a good question. And it gave him and his dad a chance to talk. But I was cracking up because I was like, what are you doing? Just sitting in your thoughts? He was like, yeah, pretty much. I'm over here doing my homework and just thinking. But I thought that was cool that he called his dad to ask that question. But it also gave Ben a chance to bring up scriptures. And they talked about having faith. So,
nice.
Yeah, and how to set goals. And, I chimed in because I was sitting on the couch acting like I was watching TV, but I chimed in. It's like, son, this is a great time to do a vision board. You do a vision board and you make those things plain and clear. So,
right.
Yeah, but I think it's cool that they still call us. And
as long as you was ear hustling.
I mean, I was sitting right here. I was like, and then, Ben was like, babe, listen to what Chance asked. So then that brought me into the conversation. But yeah, I'm always the ear hustling.
You're nicer than me because I'd be like, put him on speaker. I want to hear what he's saying. When he calls, that's my son. Put him on speaker.
Well, that's just
like
it.
FaceTime.
He FaceTime, so I can hear everything anyway.
But that is
okay.
not, Gary does that to me all the time because he doesn't have an iPhone. So when I FaceTime the girls, he thinks it's an automatic conference call. I'm like, it is not an automatic conference call.
Right,
okay?
They call me.
Yes. And he don't have
Automatic
an iPhone too. So
call.
I'm like,
right.
Oh, that was good stuff though, Latwana. So I have a question though, point of clarification, because you said you call the coaches. So what do you call the coaches about? Because we need our viewers to know that you're not calling about certain things, but you will call about other things. Just so no one gets in trouble.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, mainly I'll text them like I did today. Like Chance has a game in Vegas at the Mandalay Bay. And I'll just text the coach and be like, hey, do the players get tickets or is that something we got to do? He was like, no, they get tickets. So, I'll reach out about that. And then the guy the coach that recruited Chance, he keeps us in the loop. That's actually how we found out Chance dropped the class. He was, he actually sent us Chance schedule because they know Chance is a freshman. So he's the youngest on the team. So he was like, hey, I think you guys should stay in the loop, so you'll know what's going on. Here's his schedule. This is where he should be. So they're helping us. And I think that's going to be individual case by case because you may not have that relationship with the coach. I don't know. But we do. But we stay in front of them. We call them, Ben a call if he needs to. But mainly I talk about, how Chance is doing. We'll check in. Just simple things like that.
And not playing time. I just wanted to say not
playing. Girl, now. I mean,
people need to know that though, because in high school, just leaving high school for Layla, and there are parents that call about playing time. So we just want our viewers to know that
that's absolutely
they get to college. That's an absolute no.
And don't do that because then you're gonna be looked at as like really. If your kid ain't playing, it's a reason. So Chance coming off the bench, so we cannot complain about his playing time. He is getting time, and he just hit MVP in the Jamaica tournament. So, I mean, I don't have a reason to call about playing time. Toot toot. So what about you guys? Robin?
So for me, I have two. So Jada, let me tell you exactly what my girl said. And she's a sophomore now at Cal. So Jada says, I feel that I have adjusted to college life. Figuring out school and basketball schedules and rigor, I believe I'm settled in. Not to say I don't have much more to learn and experience, but I've definitely been able to be more comfortable. She also said this is regarding basketball, also with having more offensive pieces this year on the Cal team, I've been able to focus more on my defensive game and getting my team more involved on offense. So Jada, as a freshman, she was trying to figure out what she wanted to major in. And she made a change early on because she was trying to balance how much time she was going to be doing normal practice and how much time she was going to be doing extra practice.
Yeah.
And at Cal, her aspirations were to be in the Haas Business School. Well, she decided that you have to carry a 3.0, which is high school. That's super, easy. Yeah. In college at Cal, in the business school, carrying a 3.0 is tough. And so she had to balance, am I going to be able to maintain the rigor of a 3.0 in the Haas Business School and do the extra work that I want to do to perform well on the court? So we sat down and we went to Cal and sat with her academic advisor, and they actually came up with a plan where she's able to take several business classes so she gets that business knowledge that she wants, but not have to be in the Haas Business School. So that was a burden for her because granddad and, we were super excited. Girl, get your business degree from Cal, and she was excited about it. But once she made that decision on her own and she figured that she can do both, then, major in what she wants to major in, which is called American Studies, but it's still a business background major, and do what she wants to do on the court. We all kind of did a sigh of relief and said, okay, now just move in the way that you need to move. So she's created her sophomore year, balance, being able to be academically strong in the classroom and still get her extra work done for basketball. So that's my JJ. And then Nilka, why don't you talk about Jaden and then I'll go back to Layla.
And Nilka, I think that's pretty interesting because you had a face-to-face visit with Jaden where you guys had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Right,
So you
right,
talked to him in person.
right.
So shed some light on that.
Right. I love it because for me, what I was doing, I was listening to you talk about Chance when he was saying, sitting here thinking, and he had an insightful question for his dad, like, when do you know that what you're believing is working or whatever? And I love that because that tells me that Chance is on his own. And now he's really reflecting on his life.
Mm-hmm.
And that faith aspect is playing a role as well. So that's where, like, what does it say? Train them up the way they should go when
Yeah.
they're old, they want. So we're seeing the results, right? So when I was at ND for that snowy game, well,
That was
first of all, let me
snowy.
right. Oh
We're
my
gonna have to
God.
put that picture in there because that's
Oh my
funny.
gosh, it was
The
hilarious.
blizzard.
Okay, let me backtrack because from day one, Jaden started his freshman year this year in January. He graduated high school early, finished December 16th. And so January 15th, I think was, or actually, I think it was like January 10th or 11th, was the first day of his freshman college experience. And so from January to now, he's almost done as a freshman. He'll be a sophomore as of December 16th this
Oh,
year.
wow.
Yeah. So I'm just so thrilled and I'm proud of him. So I from day one, Lamar and I have both decided that we were going to be hands off and we were going to be let him learn by error. Because for me personally, number one, he's our number four. So it's easier to let go when it's number four. It's easier to let go. Because I understand number one and number two, you're like, and you're worried. You're worried if they're gonna make it. You're worried if they can handle it. You're worried if they're eating. You're worried if they're sleeping. You're worried if they can handle the rigor of the curriculum or
Yeah.
even the training. Everyone knows that Notre Dame has one of the toughest football physical trainings in the nation. And so, all that, those are worries. But we decided early on that we were going to be hands off. We were going to let him learn by error. We did, check. Hey, I heard that you have to do these things. Did you do them? Yes, I did them. Oh, no, I didn't know. Well, you know what? Go call Hunter. I'd give him a little bit of guidance, but it was more mental check. We were going to be like mental health checks. So Lamar does this thing with him where he sends him scripture every Sunday. After games, Lamar just tells him, I'm proud of you. I love you. Whether he stunk it up on the field or whether he did great.
Right.
Same with me. Great job, son. No matter how he did, great job, son. I'm proud of you. And he, like when we were there, we were at the USC game. He came to visit us where the parents were, and he came in and he was looking all sad and pitiful. He didn't do bad. The boy had 66 snaps against two, not one, two NFL. They're going to the draft this next year. So he was guarding these two guys that are going to the NFL as a freshman, shortest guy on his team. I'm just saying. So, like you said, toot toot. I'm just so proud of him. I'm like, actually, I'm dumbfounded, and I shouldn't be because he's always been that kid that takes care of his responsibilities. So when we were at Notre Dame for the snowy game, which was against Boston College, we sat and we were having dinner, and we ask him these reflective questions. We're like, what? How are things going? Did you learn anything new? Like, those are the little questions that I'll send him. I do mental health checks with him almost every day. Good morning, son. How are you doing? So we make sure that part is okay.
Yeah.
But asking him, like, what did you learn new? What are you struggling with? We've asked him those questions. We asked him that. We were sitting at dinner and Lamar was like, what would you say, is the toughest thing that you've had to do this semester? We asked him this semester because we asked him these questions the first semester. And he said, number one was, he's got a writing class and he's got a theology class. And comparing the two with his writing style, his writing teacher gives him high marks on his writing style, where his theology teacher breaks his writing style down to a T. And he's like, I don't get it. Right. And he says, I didn't get it. And so we kind of shared with him how, son, where the law firm that I work at, I had to learn how to write like my attorney so he could trust me to draft some of his letters. So he said, that's what I'm learning, that I've had to change my style of writing per class.
That makes sense.
Right. And so he said, that was one thing. The other thing that impressed me, he just came out and said this. He said, one of the things that I'm really reflecting on and learning now is discipline comes over motivation always. He said, because, I came to Notre Dame highly motivated. I'm going to get a starting spot. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. Highly motivated. But when you're getting up at 5 in the morning and you're going in the snow out to the gym to work out and train and do an intense 3 hour lifting, training, running, everything that they're doing, practicing. And then you go to what are they study hall. Then you go to class. Then you got to study. Then you got to do your homework. Just the schedule was from him from day one was 5 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night, and you just plop, right? But he said that you start to lose your motivation. You're just like, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. I don't need to. Do I really have to? But then he's like, it kicked in, and he said he just kept seeing it everywhere, just kept popping up. And he calls it God. He says, God is showing me discipline, Jaden, discipline. Yeah. So staying on that discipline has been key. It doesn't matter if you're not motivated. If you're disciplined, you're going to do what you got to do, because your discipline is something that becomes habitual. Right. It's second nature, and you just do it, right? You just do it off the cuff. And so those were just two things that he mentioned then, but there's more. So, I can expound upon it as you share with what Layla.
That made me think too, though, what you were saying, Nilka, about the discipline versus motivation. Because like with the kids, even, in elementary school, high school, always telling them, have a made up mind before you go into a situation. Don't make up your mind in the situation. Because like you said, you're not going to feel like getting up at 5 o'clock every morning and working out till 9. You're not going to feel like it. But if you're disciplined and if your mind is already made up that that's what you're going to do, then you're going to do it. Because we don't always feel like doing a lot of the things that we are disciplined to do. So that's really key. So thanks for sharing that. And for Layla Simone, and I think this is like on the lines of discipline. She's so funny though. Layla is my social butterfly. She goes walking through campus and everybody's like, hey, Layla, hey, Layla. So she knows no stranger. So her response when I asked her what were some of the lessons learned as a freshman, she said, I feel like a major adjustment that I have made to make this year as a new college student is just understanding and adjusting to being able to enjoy college life, like making new friends, socializing, participating in class, and also participating in things that are happening on campus. Yeah. But just being able to understand that basketball is a priority and getting extra shots up or just watching film of myself from a previous game. An example is when I was able to do a food drive to help people who are in shelters the week before Thanksgiving, and I had a game the same day and still had some classes to go to, but I was able to make time to at least contribute to it. So to sum that up, in case you got lost, what she's saying is she's had to figure out how to be social, but basketball is a priority. Yeah. And that's something that being at home, as a senior by herself without Jada being here, she had to figure out, like, Jada's not going to say, come on, Layla, let's go to the gym. She's not going to say, jump in the car, because she was driving. She was taking herself to training. She was doing all that extra work. So absent Jada in her senior year, she had to figure it out. And now in college, she gets there and she has friends, and I'm glad she has friends outside of basketball, because I want her to experience college life as best she can as a student athlete, which is hard. Yeah. But let's not get it twisted. We told her, you are there on a scholarship. Basketball is your priority and your academics. So as long as you keep those things, basketball and academics priority, you can have your friends. You can be in the, go to BSU events and have friends outside of basketball. And then regarding basketball, she said that she's had to spend time really examining film to learn all the new plays. She said, in her senior year in high school, she was starting as a freshman, but now in college, she's coming off the bench. So that's an adjustment. But she said it's no biggie. Like, she's getting starter minutes sometimes, and she's learning the play. She's learning her teammates. She's learning the pace of the game. So that was just an adjustment, not being able to start, but she's good.
And that's a huge adjustment for all our kids, because and when I say all our kids, I mean the kids in the community, because you could be a star through youth football, youth basketball, you could be a star through high school, and then when you go to college, you're starting all over. Right. And you have to earn your spot. You just do. And that's something that, I think Jaden went through that adjustment too, but Jaden takes all of that in stride as well. He's like, I know I'm low man on the totem pole. I'm starting all over. And so They
Right.
go in with something to prove, you know.
Right.
Mhm.
He still hasn't earned the starting spot, but you know, he's got a senior in front of him. But the one thing that was his maybe he felt good about was that he ended up being second to him. Where you
Mhm.
know, most kids won't even make the travel squad. And
Right.
it reminded me this is reminding me the other day I was reviewing how, you know, whether you play D1, D2, D3, NCAA, whatever, NAIA or whatever, um, only 7% of high school kids go to college on scholarship. Our kids are doing the darn thing.
Right.
Mhm.
And you know, we should be proud of them. The things that they're learning is a part of, it's a rite of passage. It's the next steps to their manhood, to their womanhood, to their adulthood. And so I
Mhm.
think that kudos to you ladies. You guys have done a great job, and dads have done a great job. And
Yeah,
I know that our kids are thriving. They are thriving. They are
Yeah.
they
thriving.
are.
That's what's important, right?
Yeah.
Finishing, starting freshman year, finishing freshman year, finishing sophomore year, whatever it is, they're
Yeah.
thriving. They're
And we're
thriving.
excited.
Yes.
We're excited to see it all.
We
I'm just
are.
excited that the season has started. get
Yeah.
get to
Yeah.
some games.
Yeah. Well, we got the bowl game coming up, so we're really thrilled about that.
I'm going to Vegas this weekend. Woo woo.
Oh, there's a game in Vegas.
Excited. Yes, yes.
Fun.
Yes. And
Well,
he travels to GCU this Wednesday. I was supposed to go to that one too, but
Nice. He did know that.
I'm just gonna go to Vegas.
Nice.
we get to see Layla plays this weekend on Saturday, and we just got back this morning from a trip to Cal. Jada had
Yeah,
two
we all
games,
been
so
busy
I
and
know.
it's
moving.
all nonstop. It is season. It's that time of year.
Yes, it's the wonderful
We just
time.
learned. I just learned yesterday that because we weren't sure if they were gonna let the kids come home for Christmas. So they're dismissed between December 22nd
Oh wow.
and December 26th, and the school is flying them home.
Oh
And then
nice.
Oh,
the school
nice.
flying them from on the 26th, flying them to Florida to get ready for the bowl game on the 30th. And then on the 31st, the school is flying them back home.
Oh
Oh, that's
wow.
nice.
They're
Look
off for
at
two
that.
weeks. Yeah, then they're off for 2 weeks, and then Jaden starts his sophomore year, spring school and spring ball next January 17th.
I don't even
And
have his.
that's not I'm mad because we just got Jada's ticket to come home. The school's not flying her. We're flying her.
Yeah, but I think it's because of the bowl game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look, either way,
Well, good for
still.
Jaden. Good for you guys.
Right.
I'm
That's
just glad that
exciting.
the girls are coming. Layla's coming, Jada's coming, and it'll be a short stay, but it'll be
Yeah.
nice to have them
Yeah, I
home for
don't
two
even know
days.
Chance
So.
schedule yet, but I'm assuming he coming home, but we'll see.
21st.
Okay.
21st.
Thanks, Robin.
I think it should be if the boys are the same as the girls.
Yeah, well, I'll find out.
Okay, well, thank
Well,
you.
thank
Anybody
you
else want to add
guys.
anything before we wrap it up? No, we're
No,
good.
this was awesome.
It
Thank you for
was.
joining MOMBALLZ.
MOMBALLZ
Balls,
out.
yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, put us on notifications, and happy holidays.
Yes. Send us
MOMBALLZ
gifts.
out.
No. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.